3-6, we're going to be constructing again, so you're going to need your compass, and you're going to need paper. Make sure you have plenty of paper underneath your compass, so when you poke your point through, you are not jabbing it into the table. All right, so first thing we're going to do is construct the line parallel to a given line and through a given point that is not on the line. So I have my original line there. I'm going to need to copy an angle. Well, we already learned how to copy an angle back in 1-6, but to remind you, you are going to need an angle. So we can come off of here at any angle that we want, and as long as we go through the point, nope, that didn't work. So let's try it again. I got it on the ruler instead of off to the side of the ruler. So this is the angle I'm going to copy, and I'm going to copy it up here at point N. So I'm going to come over here with my end point of my compass, make sure it's right there at the intersection. I'm going to take and copy this angle, so the first thing I want to do is scribe an arc. I have to move that up to point N and scribe the same measurement. So I want to make sure I go through that line and down long enough that I will be able to draw a parallel line when I get there. All right, so now I need to measure across this distance. So I put my point in, and now I have to figure out that distance. So I have to make it smaller, and then scribe my arc. That's a little too short. That looks better. Make sure it goes through that intersection point. Now go up to your point up here where your arc intersected the line. Put your point in, scribe your arc, and now you are drawing your line. If you were careful, that should be parallel. Always find my point. I drew it too wide. I can see that right now when I go to put my line through. Very strange. I'm not sure how that moved. Okay, so I'm going to go back because that doesn't look right. Put it in place. Oh, I'm not too far off. It just is not going to draw. And find where I went through. And draw my line. Guess it looks better than I thought it would. I'm a little off there. So now I've drawn my parallel line. Second drawing I'm going to do today is draw a perpendicular postulate. Oh, sorry, forgot. We have the postulate before we do the drawing. So the perpendicular postulate, through a point, not on a line, there is one and only one line perpendicular to the given line. So just like yesterday with 3-6, when there was only one line parallel to any given line through a point, there's only one line perpendicular through any line given through a point. All right, so I have this point R up here, and I have my line, and I want to go perpendicular. Well, with perpendicular in 1-6, we learned we started from two endpoints. Well, I don't have any endpoints. And since it has to be perpendicular through this point, I'm going to go to the center of that point and make some endpoints. So you want to make sure you go below this line. So I made sure my distance there. Now I scribe my arc. And I have now 2 endpoints. I go from those endpoints. Again, to do perpendicular, I want to be greater than half. That's greater than half. So I scribe my arc. Scribe my arc again. The main thing you want to do is make sure you're connecting below your point. It should also connect above your point. It does not have to go through the point, because when you draw your line up through, and that's when you get your perpendicular line that goes through the points. Connect your crossing arcs in both up and down, and you have drawn your perpendicular to that point, perpendicular to the line and through a point. And now you get to do the homework and answer questions on constructing parallel and perpendicular lines. And that's it.